I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a TYRO.
Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And those of you that don't know our story, Ron and I did 15 years in the prison system. Ron doing time on the inside, while our kids and I did time on the outside.
And growing up, literally, in this
Right.
experience, we were able to develop a curriculum called TYRO. TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Or a founding father. So we work with you fathers to actually help you become warriors, to fight for your legacy and fight for your kids, and become leaders in your home, your community, and your workplace.
So what TYRO does is empowers you to reinvent yourself. You know, you might have went into prison with one type of mentality or with an attitude or with something that, well, your best thinking got you there. But our job and your job together combined with the power of TYRO, we get to reinvent ourselves. When we leave the penitentiary, we leave better, not bitter.
And so we really want to help empower you to be able to be the best father you can, even from behind bars. And we know that sometimes, well, not sometimes, every day that is a struggle because you're separated in time and space from your kids. But you still have a powerful influence on your children's lives. And we want to help you be able to leverage and wield that power in a way that helps your children grow up to be happy, healthy, and successful adults.
You know, even though right now, dads, this possibly is the hardest job you'll ever have in your lifetime, being a dad from prison, you know, but it doesn't mean that the story is over, you know, because as long as you got breath, the story is still being written. And that's what we get to do here on TYRO TV. We want to give you some advice and some suggestions on how to help you become that father for your children and even that husband for your family. You know, because even though we find ourselves incarcerated, we find ourselves in a place where maybe everything around us is limited, but that doesn't mean we are limited, right? Because now we got to think outside the box. And today's story and segment, what we're going to talk about is just doing that. How do you take advantage of what little access or limitation you may have? Is that the right word, limitations? But how do you create something out of nothing? Right?
How do you leverage all the resources around you in order to create, now today's show is actually on gifts. How to, GIFTS, gifts, gift giving gifts to your children and to your family, even from where you are. So we're going to talk about what is it we really mean when we use the word gift. We're going to describe that and define that. And then we're going to talk about why it's so important, vitally important, Dad, that you are giving gifts to your kids. So you do not want to miss today's show because we're going to give you all kinds of tips and tools to help you really pour into your children's life, even from where you are.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm his wife, Cathy TYRO.
You know, before we get into this segment, I want to say I'm formerly known as 250397. Whew.
And formerly known as my husband.
You know? I don't get
Currently,
that.
I'm your wife.
Oh, that's right, that's right. But you know what we get to do? We get to sit here and we get to take what we've experienced, what we have been able to learn through our journey on how to become successful. You know, my dream in prison was how do I create in my sons a legacy that they could be proud of, right? And empower them to grow up to become men of honor, men of good character.
And my dream was, while you were in prison, Ron, was how do I create in my home peace and joy? Because there was so much sadness and there was so much grief. I mean, we were grieving so much and there was so much anxiety. And what I really just wanted for my family was there to be peace and joy in our family and in our home.
And what I learned was in that journey, when Cathy was dealing with that, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I be a great husband? How do I be a great dad? You know, the best thing I could do was to give a gift. You know, to give a gift at that moment to Blake, to Brandon, to Cathy, and then later on to Bria.
So gift giving is so important. And I know when Ron was locked up, I remember him just saying, you know, I just hate not being able to buy my kids anything. Because before Ron went to prison, every time he went to the store, you would come home with something for the boys, like in the checkout lane, if it was $1 little car, whatever it was. He was constantly buying little gifts for the kids. And so now, you know, he doesn't have access to toys. He doesn't have access to things.
I didn't have access to money.
I have very limited access to money. You had some money. The whole $18 a month thing, right?
Or if you sent me something.
Right. But really coming to a place of really understanding that gift giving, because I started out saying, well, that's not important, it doesn't matter. But truly, giving gifts is very important.
You know, when we think about the word gift and we want to put a definition behind it, you know, it's kind of tricky because we've heard the Hallmark saying the gift that keeps on giving, right? Right?
We've heard Hallmark say that.
Well, I don't know, maybe somebody said it, right?
Yeah.
So, but the point is, you know, what is a gift? A gift is something that is to bring joy, laughter, comfort, surprise, all these adjectives we can probably place behind the word gift. But I think that one of the most important things we can think about on what is a gift, it's showing somebody that I care enough about you to take time and think about what is it that's going to make you better, happier, stronger.
And I really think that, you know, to just kind of encapsulate that and sum that all up is giving somebody something and creating an investment in somebody else that costs you something.
There it is.
And something doesn't have to be money, but it's something that costs you time, energy, or money that you are giving to somebody else and investing in their lives in order to make their journey or their moment better.
You know, I remember in our experience, Cathy, that I would write, at the beginning, I would write letters to you as investing in our relationship and really the best way we could do to communicate. Right. And I would write 10, 15, 20-page letters.
Right.
And at the beginning of our incarceration, of our journey, you would write me back 10, 15 pages. But as time went on, my letters would stay 10, 15, but your life began to evolve and you began to work and you began to really find your place out there to make ends meet, that the letters got smaller and smaller. And I had to come to a place of where it wasn't about me. But it took me a minute to say, hey, I wrote you, but you haven't written me back. And I wrote you 3 letters and I'm still waiting for one back. But you would say, you know what, I read them, but sweetheart, I'm working now. My time, I don't have those 8 hours now that I was devoting to writing letters. And I had to come to a place to understand that, you know what, your life was evolving, you were getting more busier, but I couldn't take that personal because it wasn't about what I was going to get from you from that letter. It was about, you know what, I'm going to keep the communication going. I'm going to write the letters to you and encourage you in these letters to keep moving forward.
So when we think about that gift being an investment in somebody else or for somebody else, it literally is an investment for somebody else. Because if we're investing for ourselves, we're expecting a return on that investment, right?
That's right.
And so that's not a gift. A gift is, this is for you, this is completely for you to do whatever you want with, and I am giving it freely to you. Now, when there's strings attached, that's an investment for who?
For myself.
For me.
Yep.
And so giving gifts is so important. So what we are talking about when we're talking about giving a gift is we're talking about investing in your children's lives in a way that has no strings attached, that is for their betterment. That investment is going to produce a return in their lives and not in yours.
So what is a gift? Like Cathy said, an investment in somebody's life, not expecting a return. And that's a tough place for us men to be at when we find ourselves.
For anybody to be
You know, because you know what, if I do something for you, I want you to do something for me.
Right.
And I think that living with that mentality prior to penitentiary and then going into prison with that same mentality, it took a lot of breaking, if you will, of that type of entitlement mentality, thinking on my part, to come to a place of where, you know what, I'm going to write this letter just because I love you.
Right. So I'm going to give you something
Yep.
and expect nothing in return.
And that's a hard discipline to embrace and to walk into.
So there's a difference. So as we were raising our kids, dads, as you're raising your kids, so you're going to have investments that you're expecting to return for yourself. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to teach this lesson, and I'm going to raise my children, and the return on this investment is going to be that they're going to be responsible, they're going to be productive, they're going to be respectful, all of those things. But then there are gifts, and gifts are different from teaching. So when you teach somebody, you're teaching them lessons you expect them to learn. A gift is simply that, a gift for them to unwrap and do whatever they want with. Now, that gift, again, we talked about it being either a gift of your time, your energy, or your money. And there are a ton of opportunities for you to give gifts to your children, and it is vitally important to give gifts. So what are we talking about? Ron said one of them, letters.
Letters.
That letter can be a gift to your son or daughter.
Let me give you an example of maybe something that's happened to somebody. I don't know. I remember giving somebody a gift away, and I gave them the gift, and then I found out that person gave that gift to somebody else. I got kind of upset. Hey, man, I gave you that gift, not to give away anybody. But then the guy told me in response, he said, but I thought you gave it to me. It was mine. Well, it is yours. I said, well, if it's mine, then I can do whatever I want with it, right? Well, technically, yeah. Well, then I just gave it to somebody else. But I had to really understand that type of really childish mentality. You know, I'm going to give you something, but I expect you to do what I want you to do with it.
Right,
You know,
right.
and
That's not a gift.
That's not a gift.
That's not a gift. And so when we come back, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about why it's so important to give gifts. We talked a little bit about what we really mean when we talk about gift, investing time, energy, or money into somebody else, expecting no return on that investment. Now, when we come back, we'll talk about why that's important. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through Family Days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And I'm formerly known as 250397.
I thought you were going to say, and today we are talking about giving gifts.
Well, you know, I don't know what it is. I'm just thinking about my penitentiary number, and I feel so liberated that I can say that. 250397, because there was a time that I wasn't able to give a gift to you because of the shame and just being there.
I think really you weren't able to give a gift to me because of your selfishness.
Well, yeah, absolutely selfishness, but I mean, this everything
It was
about that.
all about you.
And if I gave a gift, there was always strings attached to it.
Right, yep.
And so that's what
Hey,
we're
I
talking
brought
about.
you flowers, didn't I, woman? So now you owe me a good
And
dinner.
I said
or
it
you
just
owe me
like
with-
that, just like that.
Almost.
You know? But so why is it important? That's what we're talking about right now. Why is it important to give freely a gift? Even from behind bars, Dad, you still have the capability to give a gift away so free from where you're at that it will blow people's minds away that, wow, your dad gave you this? Isn't he in prison? How did he happen to do this? How was this done? Right? And that's what we want to encourage you today. Why is it important to give gifts to your children and to your wives?
So the why is so important, of that joy and that smile and giving the gift to your children that allows them to hold their head up and know that they are loved, that they are loved. Even though dad isn't present in their life, he is making an effort to invest in them, even from that distance.
You know, dads, this is so important. Why is it? Because your sons and your daughters are walking around with a cloud over their head. Why is it important to hear from you in a way that a gift that literally keeps on giving? Because when you write them that letter of encouragement, when you do those type of things, you're empowering them to hold their head up. You're empowering them to know that, you know what, my day today might not be as bright as I want it to be, right? But there's gonna be a tomorrow where I'm not gonna be walking like this because my dad is still coming home to me, right? And this is why it's important, because they need to hear from you. They need to see that you are taking time out and spending time with them, though you're not there physically, right? Why is it important? Your children need to be fed this goodness that is still in you that you can bring to them, and only you can do it. Nobody else can do this, right?
That's absolutely true. A gift from dad says, you're important enough for me to spend my time and my resources investing in. And that feeling, there is nothing that can replace that feeling. I don't care what, you might think that this is so meager. I really want to buy my 16-year-old son a car, and I'm not able to do it. The gift of your time and energy and the message that sends to your son and your daughter is beyond any material thing. And so the why is the investing in your children to help stabilize them through this very traumatic time in their lives while you were in prison and help them build a bond of connection with you, knowing that, wow, dad cares enough about me to take the time.
You know, Cathy mentioned just something so powerful. You know, why is it important to help your children walk through and navigate them through this very traumatic time in their life? And you cannot negate that. You can't
minimize that.
You can't minimize this. You can't think that they're going to be okay. You know, mom's got them. No, they're not okay, and they're not happy. They're hurting. But when you why is it important? Because it empowers them to see that joy. They find that celebration. It gives them hope.
And they no longer feel orphaned. They will no longer feel orphaned. So the why in gift giving is huge. It is the major reason why you give gifts. Not so that you feel good, not so that you have some sort of return, but so that your children can be empowered to face the next day. When we come back, we're going to talk about the how.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years, watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And today we are talking about gifts.
And what it means to really invest in the lives of your children without expecting anything in return. Man.
And why it is so important. We talked the last segment about why that is so important to give a gift to your kids. Even though you are not present in their lives, even though you don't have access to all of these department stores and Walmarts and Myers and Amazon and all of that, you have access to the most vital thing, and that is your time, your energy, and your heart.
So here's where it comes to use your imagination. You know, how do you do this? How do you give a gift to a child who is on the internet, who's got the TV, who's got everything
Inundated with all these commercials of all these material things, right?
You know,
and you feel like your gift is unimportant and it doesn't really matter because it's so small.
But I'm going to tell you right now, out of experience, that no matter how small a gift I gave to Blake and Brandon, it was bigger than anything anybody could have bought from them, from any department store and from anywhere else in the world, because Dad gave it to them.
That's exactly right. So when we talk about how do you give gifts? First of all, letters. We talked about that up through the show, and you're going to hear us say that a lot through all of our shows. Writing letters is a gift to your child. Sending pictures, having somebody draw a picture. If you can't draw, find somebody that can draw. Draw their favorite character. Draw a scenery. Draw something for them that's fun and funny and going to infuse them with joy.
You know, when I started doing something, and I never colored, man, right? But my sons were at the age where they were coloring on coloring books, so you know what? I had to humble myself and become a colorer.
A professional colorer.
Right. So I would actually, I had some construction paper I got from inside the gates and crayons and all that, and I would try to draw and coloring scenery and stuff like that and send them to the boys. Hey guys, here's a picture I drew for you. Because guess what? They were drawing pictures for me, so let me draw something for you.
Yep.
And it worked out really great that we were drawing pictures for each other. And it didn't last very long. We didn't do this
for years.
Right? But while we did it for maybe 4 or 5 letters, we were bonding, we were connecting.
Another gift that Ron would give is he would read books or hear about really good children's books, and he would go to the library and get this book, and let's read this book together. And it was a gift of his time and energy. So then as they read the book, he would send them pictures of the characters or send little snippet things that he would find.
But you got to use your imagination, Dad. You know, how do you do this? You know, there's another gift, a gift of playing games, right? Even through letters. So there's a game, you know, I don't know if you play chess. You know, one thing I was able to do was to teach my sons how to play chess in a prison visiting room, right? So we began to attempt anyways. We didn't get very good at it because it's pretty difficult for us. But you can move pieces by letters. You set up the board, and that board you got to try to find a place where you can keep it stationary. And then when you got a letter back, the move would be in the letter, and then you would move your opponent's, in this case, one of my sons' piece, and I would move their piece. And then I would write them back, I moved H3 or whatever that would be. And then they would play. But now this was another hard one. But usually we attempted it. Didn't last very long, but we were connecting.
Right, and giving the gift of the connection. Something else that Ron did, Ron wasn't very, what would be the word, talented in building things. But he did build some things. And then he also got with guys inside and said, you know what, can you build this for my sons? So he sent home, you know, different piggy banks and different toys and different little things. We would go on a visit, he would be able to bring it out, or we'd be able to pick it up on our way out.
Now, I wasn't a painter, right? But there was some really, you know where you're at, man. There's some really good painters. And so I would save my pennies, right? And I would hire somebody, man, could you paint Spider-Man? Can you paint Batman on canvas? And Christmas is coming up, and I need to send something home to my sons for a Christmas gift. Right. And so I would sacrifice the Little Debbies, the soups, right? The cans of Jack Mackerel, so that I could send something home of value, right? Because this is some nice quality work, send it home to my kids. And
those were things, so across 15 years, I'm going to say that the kids got actual physical gifts, like paintings or piggy banks or things like that. They each got maybe 6 things like that across 15 years. So we're not talking about investing, every month, every Christmas. But what we are saying is when we say, how do you give a gift, you do not remain silent. That means that you don't sit around in the day room on your child's birthday and say, it's my son's birthday today, and I can't even buy him anything, I can't go get him, I can't celebrate with him. Well, shame on you. You absolutely can. You can get out a piece of paper, I love you, draw a big heart on it. If it's
say happy
birthday,
right?
And put it in the mail. And that is a gift to them. That is something you can and you must do. Do not remain silent. Don't fold your arms and pout because you can't buy what you want to buy for your kids.
Now listen, dads, it is so important that you figure out how to stay engaged with your kids. If it's letter writing, if it's sending a card, if it's sending a stick of gum in your letter. Listen, this is important.
Even if it's every year they get a stick of gum. That is huge. And if you've heard the story before, that's all. If you haven't heard the story before, that was the greatest memory that our son Brandon had, was that he would get a stick of gum from his dad on his birthday for several years. And then finally one year it stopped, and he was so upset. Like, I can't believe my dad didn't put a stick of gum in my card. It was the best present he ever got.
And I didn't realize the impact it was having on his life. My dad sent me a stick of gum.
And you were thinking, it's just a stick of gum. He's not going to care.
And so fellas, don't think or downplay your gift. Your gift is a gift that surmounts anything anybody else can give them. Your children need to see you engaged in their life. A gift of encouragement. You're writing in a letter and you're empowering them and you're edifying them and you're telling them how proud of them you are and how great they are, and you're expecting great things from them, and you're rooting them and you become their greatest cheerleader. That is a gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. So we have to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up for you and give you some final applicable things and tips and tools that you can use right now. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You'll begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO, and today we're talking about
Gifts and how to give a gift to your children without breaking your bank. Because you got no bank, right?
That's right. Without being out on the streets, how do you actually invest or give a gift to your kids so that they feel loved, cared about, connected? Because we all know that the gift isn't as important as that sense of, wow, somebody cared enough to take the time to give something to me.
We don't know what our children are going through and what society's hitting them with. When we're incarcerated, when I was incarcerated, I wanted to believe that my kids were okay and stuff like that, but I didn't know what the neighbor kids were saying to them and how they were treating them. But all I knew was it was my job and I had a duty, and I knew I could find the words or take the time to pay attention to them. And so the first gift that I think we want to leave with you guys is really the gift of attention. They need your attention.
And so that means, this is the first thing you can do right now, either on your next phone call, your next letter, or your next visit. Make it all about them. That means don't talk about you, don't talk about your case, don't ask questions about grandma and mom and what all your friends are doing. Ask about them. How's school going? How are your friends? Who's your best friend? What are the things you like to do? And really invest that attention and time in them. So number one, give the gift of attention.
And you know what? That's a good question. A quiz, dads, you can give yourself. Do you know your kid's favorite color? Do you know their favorite number? Do you know their favorite sport? Do you know their favorite sport?
Who's their best friend? What do they like to do?
Gift of attention. The second gift that really you could really give to your kids, and when we talk about the letter writing, is really the gift of wisdom. That you've acquired and you've been able to experience. Now you want to give it back to them. Right?
And so that can be inspiration, it can be encouragement. The gift of your wisdom, that means writing down your thoughts for them. It can be a poem, it can be a song, it can just be words of encouragement to them. And so that is a very powerful way that you can right now begin to invest in your kids and give them a great gift.
I remember when I was incarcerated, they had a special where they were gonna allow us to do a 10-minute video and send it home, right? So it cost a certain amount of money, and I had just learned how to play the guitar, and so I did a song for the family, right? And that's something that, I don't know if there's opportunities like that to do, really be creative. The gift of wisdom, what you can empower your children to really acquire so they don't make the same mistakes we made, right? Okay.
And so the last one that we want to leave you with is a gift of your resources.
And now fellas, listen, your resources are limited, but they're not depleted, nor are they empty. You know, your purse may not be big, but you got something in there. The gift of your resources. Instead of investing in 10 boxes of Debbie for the month, you know, cut it in half.
Or invest in your Debbies, but wrap one up and mail it.
Man.
Right? I mean, the whole box.
Wrap that up. I mean, what kind of smile, or they might think you're kind of crazy when they get it at home. Wow, look what Dad got us, a box of Little Debbies. But you know what? Your children are gonna eat that and they're gonna think about you and they're gonna say, wow, that tasted so much better knowing that it came from Dad.
Right.
Right?
And so the gift of resources is anything that you can make, anything that you can buy, that you can put in a card or a package and send to them. So those are three things you can do right now to begin giving gifts to your kids. Now, if you're really wanting to become a better dad, then we really want to encourage you to seek out the TYRO program, get signed up for the TYRO program, and come and make a transformational difference in your life and the lives of your children.
And don't wait till you get out, because I'm telling you, the world isn't, they don't want you. Okay, we're gonna keep it real, dads. You're a felon, but you can make a difference right now. So when you do leave the institution, you're ready. You're empowered to take on whatever life is gonna throw at you. So thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. Until next time, always remember that we are rooting for you.
I am a man of honor.
I am a man of integrity.
I am a man of faith. I am the antidote.
I am a man of discipline. I am a leader.
I am strong.
I am a man worth following.
I am a TYRO.